if you really.
Okay, who just recorded?
I don't know.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for attending our very first community meeting for our Walsh Avenue, Martin Avenue Class 4 Bikeway Planning Study. My name's Carol Shariat, and I'm the project manager for this project. Next slide. So what will we be discussing today? First, I'll do some brief introductions of people working on this project. We'll also go over project purpose. So why exactly are we studying these two corridors? The approach we're going to take to actually complete this plan. We'll also want to go over some of the existing conditions along the two study corridors. And then we'll go over the scope of work that our consultants will be working on for this project. And ultimately, we really want to hear your vision for both these roadways and how to best incorporate bike lanes along both of them. And then finally, we'll go over next steps as to what will happen after this community meeting. Next. Once again, my name's Carol Shariat, and I'm the Principal Transportation Planner here with the City of Santa Clara. Other folks within Santa Clara that are involved in the project are Ralph Garcia, our Senior Civil Engineer, and Michael Liu, our Assistant Public Works Director. I also have here with me today TJKM Transportation Consultants, which we've hired to help us complete this plan. We have Ruta Jarawala, and we have Anna Highsmith and Diavanya Padu. I'm going to botch your name, sorry, Padubidri. Next slide. And from there, I'll pass it over to Ruta.
Thank you, Carol. Again, good evening, everyone. Really excited and thank you for your time this evening. Just wanted to quickly go through the project study area. As the name says, it is Walsh and Martin Avenue Bike Planning Study. And the study limits are on Walsh Avenue all the way from Bowers Avenue to Lafayette Street, and that very small section of Martin Avenue from Lafayette to De La Cruz Boulevard. This is how our corridor looks today. So we just wanted to kind of give you some roadway characteristics of both the corridors. If you look at Walsh Avenue, it is the study area has 1.7 mile east-west arterial that will be included. It runs parallel to Central Expressway. It's generally 4 lanes in either direction, 4-lane roadway, 2 lanes in either direction. Adjacent land uses are office buildings, industrial parks, surface parking. There are a lot of surface parking lots also. And currently we do have a class 2 bike lane from Bowers Avenue to St. Thomas Expressway. And I'll kind of, through my presentation, I will also show you what class 2 bike lanes are, just in case if someone needs definition for that. When we look at Martin Avenue, it is a 0.5 mile east-west collector in our study area. Again, 2 lanes in either direction, so a 4-lane roadway neighboring to connect San Jose Mineta International Airport. There is a lowlanders community next to it, and it connects to that community too. Just a photo of Martin Avenue looking westbound. Why did city initiate this study? So city did obtain grant from Measure B bicycle planning grant. It is this particular corridor is also a high priority corridor in county bicycle plan. It implements city's complete street vision, helps to achieve goal of climate action plan. And the whole point is city wants to enhance safety and comfort for all modes of transportation throughout the corridor. Quick schedule for the project. We did start our project in basically in 2023. we did have the first VPAC meeting sometimes in in spring, where we did ask them what their concerns were. And that was a process that we are trying to take to gather as much as information as we can. And then we also wanted to involve the community at the onset of the project. And that's where we are today. We are here today. And this is our first community meeting. Again, this meeting is more of a listening meeting. We want to know from you what your visions are for these corridors. What do you really want to see? Because you are going to be actual people who are going to use this corridor for years to come. So we want to make sure that when we propose any improvements, we kind of ask you, what do you want to see on this corridor in future? So that's the reason we want to engage you from the onset of the project, and your comments, your issues, your suggestions are going to be really, really important to us. For this, in summer, we're going to have a second VPAC meeting. By then, we are going to do some preliminary corridor analysis and also develop some very, very preliminary roadway concepts, take it to them, listen to them, take their input. Again, we take it back to them in fall, kind of fine tune based on the input that we have received, and then bring it to you again in the second community meeting to share those concepts with you, as well as take your comments and incorporate that before we kind of roll it into a draft project report and a final project report. Even before we do that and take it to council, we come back to you one more time to make sure that we have incorporated all the comments that we have received from the community. Project approach, city is beginning the work on planning conceptual design for new class 4 bicycle facilities. Right now, when you look at the rightmost top corner, we have a class 2 bike lane, which is a bike lane where it does not have any buffer. But when you talk about class 4 bicycle facilities, these facilities do have buffer between the regular traffic and the bicyclist. So these buffers can include just striping, or we can separate them with pylons and striping. There are various other ways of doing it. For example, in Cupertino, they use concrete barrier in between. So that's another type of class 4 bike facility. Or in city of San Jose, they use these small concrete separators, and then they have parking next to it. So these kind of facilities that you see in the 3 photos at the bottom, these facilities are called class 4 bicycle facilities. And just to kind of give it a little bit of more improvement and more benefit for bicyclists, we can also add bicycle boxes to the intersections that also help in the visualization of bikes. Also, it gives a priority for the bikes to start and enter the intersection before a vehicular movement starts. So that's kind of also pretty helpful. The study will collect a lot of data, not only concerns and issues from the community, but also we are planning on conducting a lot of traffic data. So we will be collecting vehicular volumes, pedestrian volumes, bicycle volumes. We are also going to look at how is parking right now out there. And we have also started looking into the collision history on the corridor. Like I mentioned before, this study is seeking and recording community input. And as I showed on the schedule, that we are going to do that at multiple points throughout the course of the project. So it's not that we're going to start talking to you at the start and then forget all about it. No, we want to take you from start to end. So we want your comments. We want to make sure that we incorporate your comments, come back to you before we make this plan a final plan. We will also inform you about the conceptual designs, like I mentioned before. Again, this is a planning level document. It does not include a full design environmental review, and or any kind of construction alternatives. So at this point, this particular project is just a planning level project. And then city will consider options and choose to move forward. City council, sorry, will consider options and choose to move forward based on not only what they think, but also they want to make sure that community is heard, and then we have incorporated all those comments before they pick a particular option that they would like to move forward with. And for implementation, we just want to let you know that there is no funding mechanism that has been identified at this point. For now, we just have budget to do a planning study. Quick work plan. As I mentioned before, that we will be gathering a lot of information. So we have started reviewing the previous studies, plans and policies. We want to make sure that we build on top of what city has put in the effort so far. We are also going to analyze the entire corridor from traffic operations perspective. So we want to make sure that by benefiting one mode, we are not adversely impacting the other mode. We want to find that very fine balance. So we want to make sure that we do some traffic operation studies for existing conditions out there. We will be collecting, we have collected traffic counts for 19 intersections along this corridor, but we are evaluating 23 of them. We do have counts from other studies that we will be using on this project. We have also collected directional vehicle classification counts, and we will be also doing travel time runs in the AM as well as PM peak periods, which are morning and evening peak periods. Corridor travel analysis. It's not only the existing conditions that we would be analyzing, but we would forecast for near-term and future traffic conditions also, to make sure that in next 5 to 10 to 20 years, what are the impacts we will be looking into if we do go with a particular alternative or proposed alternative. We are going to look into collision analysis, severity of collisions at existing intersections or even on the corridor. What has that contributed to, whether it has a vehicular collision, pedestrian collision, was a bike involved in the collision. So we will be doing an in-depth collision analysis. We have also done the parking utilization and capacity analysis for morning, midday, night, and weekend, which we will be sharing with you in the next meeting. Based on all the data that we collect and issues that we hear from you today, we will be developing conceptual drawing and alternatives, and also doing preliminary cost estimates for the corridor. And again, I'm kind of reiterating myself over and over again, is we want to have these proposed alternatives based on the input that we receive from stakeholders, from community, through outreach events. Analyze the impacts. So we want to make sure that we do analyze the vehicle travel time in existing as well as future. We look into queues, if there is any congestion. Before that, there are quite a few alternatives that we can look into, whether parking is needed or we can remove parking, but we're not going to make those abrupt suggestions. We want to make sure that we do analyze parking availability, spaces, how it is being used in existing. Is it okay for us to take it or not? So those are the type of impacts we are going to look into when we talk about operational analysis or corridor analysis. Based on all the data, we will develop an alternative that would have a class 4 bike lane. All the concept alternatives would include class 4 bikeway facility. We will present that to council and give our recommendations. And then council will develop an implementation strategy once that's taken care of. With that, as I mentioned, that we want to know what your vision is for this particular corridor. So there are different ways how you can stay involved in this project and the input that you can provide us. We do have a project website. It's called www.santaclaraca.gov/bikeped projects. You can also send us an email. You can provide us your concerns through a map input platform that I would quickly go through after in my preceding slides. You can call us and leave us a voicemail and let us know what your concerns are. And please do attend the future community meetings because again, your input is very, very valuable to us. So here is the project website that we have developed. City is very, very proactive. They have multiple ped bike projects going on at the same time, which can be seen on this particular website. This particular project is called Walsh Martin Avenue Class 4 Bikeway Planning Study. So once you click on that, so first you go to this website and then click on that link right there. You will see a page open up where everything that is happening in this study is here. So it will continuously keep on updating as the study keeps on proceeding. And also, if you go to the bottom of the page, there is an online survey. And if you click on online survey, it would take you to a page which shows the map input platform. And on this particular page, if you click right there, it will take you to a map that shows you the corridor. And this particular map is very intuitive. So you can actually pick a driveway or intersection wherever you have an issue or concern, or you can also pick a length of the corridor if you want to let us know that, you know, I do travel through this corridor every day, but there are bicycle facilities missing in this part of the corridor, and you can leave us your concerns either by pinning a location or drawing a line. So you could have issues at a particular location that, oh, well, while I walk, when someone comes out of here, I don't see the car, there is an issue here. So you could either pinpoint a location, or you can also let us know that here is the stretch that I really have an issue with because there are no bike lanes and I don't feel comfortable riding my bike through this part of the corridor. With that, I would like to open up to question and answers. But before we do that, I think I did miss some polling questions that I was supposed to pull up. Let me do that right now first. I'm going to launch the first question. If you could answer that question, maybe we can give a minute or so for everyone to kind of pick your answer. Where do you live? On Walsh Martin Avenue, within 2 to 3 blocks, another location within the city, and just use this corridor as your commute, or neighboring city, or somewhere else. That's pretty interesting. I'm going to give 10 more seconds here. The stalls. This is pretty interesting. Almost 90% of the attendance today lives another location within city of Santa Clara. So at least thank you again, you know, for joining this. It really does help us. Second question. What brings you to Walsh Martin Avenue? Skip 10 more seconds. I'm going to end the poll. Share results. So 33% reside in the vicinity, 17% it's part of their regular commute route, and 50% of commuters are using it for recreational purposes. Thank you. The next question. What word comes to your mind when you think of Walsh Martin Avenue? It could be a very short answer. With 10 more seconds here. So some of you have said thoroughfare, speeding, pretty busy, fast cars, and dangerous biking conditions. Lot of commercial area and busy traffic, unswept. Thank you. If there were better bicycle facilities on Walsh Martin, how often would you consider riding a bike? Seconds here. Ending the poll. So 17% would like to ride their bike daily, several times a week is another 17%, and 67% says occasionally. Next question. What would most encourage you to bike on Walsh and Martin Avenue? Few more seconds here. Okay, share the results. So approximately 30% says class 2 bike lane, 71% class 4 bike lanes, some bike boxes, and bicycle parking facilities. So those were some good suggestions. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And with that, I would like to open it up for any questions, or if more than that, we really want to know what your issues and concerns are. So if you could raise your hands and let us know who would like to start, that would be great. And we would unmute you and you could let us know what your comments and concerns are. Betsy. Could you unmute yourself, Betsy? Yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
I thought I pushed that button. Betsy Magus, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm currently a BPAC member. I've written down these comments already, so I'll be sending them also in email. I just got back from work in time for this meeting. Glad you didn't call on me half an hour ago. I would have been a little bit breathless. Tonight on the way home, I took Walsh between Bowers and Scott. And so I'd have it fresh in my mind. The first thing I want to say is that this project is also about connecting with Trimble and De La Cruz and the new 101 interchange that's going on there. If you haven't seen that yet, there's a really good page on the VTA website. East of, it doesn't really matter, but east of about Scott, both of these streets have kind of spotty sidewalks on both sides. And I know this is about a bike lane. I'm hopeful that we're thinking about sidewalks too, because sometimes when you're biking, things happen and you end up, stopping on the sidewalk. So it just makes it more comfortable. So I'm hoping that we're thinking about sidewalks, even if it's just in terms of, making people put one in when they're building something new there, and just generally connecting the dots there. In practice, and I did this evening, my connection between these two corridors is probably going to be Scott Boulevard for right now. Lafayette so far is an even less comfortable bike ride than Scott, and it's less direct from where I live and work. The part of this corridor with the class 2 bike lane is pretty tolerable right now. There's relatively few driveways until you come across a car or truck that's illegally parked in the bike lane, which I did this evening. That one was in front of a construction zone, so I don't think anybody would be attempting to enforce that, but that kind of thing, if a bike lane is blocked, it pushes you out into what's supposed to be 35-mile-an-hour traffic there. As we start to look at protected bike lanes, blocking them becomes a different sort of an issue, because it's not always easy to get out and get around something that's managing to, somebody's managed to park to take up a protected bike lane like that. This is maybe the first parking study that we've done here that looks at, the prospect of either reducing or eliminating or rearranging parking that's mostly used for commercial vehicles. So perhaps the parking study should take into account, how many of those parked vehicles are, appear to be commercial. I predict it's going to be quite a few. We had a comment from somebody else in the chat already about this. Please make plans starting right now to sweep any separated bike lanes. Otherwise they get full of crud. And some of that crud is dangerous. That wet leaves, sand and gravel are slipping hazards, and stuff like broken glass can take out a tire, which is part of why you need sidewalks where you have bike lanes if we possibly can. Parking protected bike lanes also need special attention to ensure visibility at driveways and intersections. The Walsh corridor that we're talking about actually has fairly long, relatively long distances between driveways, which will help. But I've had, on some of the major roads like this that I've ridden, I've had trouble being seen on a bike, even though there was nothing parked there at all. People pulling in and out of driveways just aren't looking. Even if there is a bike lane and you're in it and you're in the right place, go in the right way. And then a particular part, and I'll also try to put this on the map survey. I got off the trail at Walsh a week or two ago and just watched, this is the Santa Mosaquino Creek Trail. And I just watched people going between the trail to NVIDIA. I was on my way to work, so they were mostly going towards NVIDIA. It's not a long physical distance, but it's kind of a bottleneck as far as bikes are concerned. NVIDIA is on the far side of the creek and on the far side of Walsh from where most people are coming in the morning, which is to say the south. Most of us live south of the Caltrain tracks, I would guess. And on Walsh, that class 2 bike lane turns into Sharrows for, maybe 100 yards at the most across that bridge. But in the maybe 10 minutes I was standing there, I saw people crossing at grade on bikes and on foot. I saw people turning left across there. I watched one guy come from the north on the trail and then walk his bike across the creek on the sidewalk. That back entrance, I don't know, I don't work for NVIDIA, but that back entrance seems to be the popular spot. So I would encourage the consultants and staff to observe traffic patterns at that intersection in particular, perhaps in the mornings, during the morning commute. And then by the same token, I saw some of you at Bike to Wherever Days last Thursday at a pop-up on the trail at Agnew. Thank you for coming out to that. If you want to do better outreach in terms of the Walsh corridor, do that similar sort of pop-up at Walsh and the trail, or at the very least, put up a poster there with a QR code. You could use existing signs or one of these little barricades. But I think you would get the attention of a lot more people with just a couple of basic posters. And that's what I have so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. Those were some great comments and great suggestions, especially to reach out to the community. Yes, we will look into if we can add QR code at the Walsh Trail. Carol, would you like to address anything at this point, or?
No, I think we're just taking, comments as we get them, but definitely, Betsy, like Prune Ridge Avenue, we will have street signs up along both corridors, most likely with the QR code. So folks that are traversing both corridors can hopefully quickly get to our project webpage, and so that they can learn more about it quickly.
Cool. If I may suggest, face a couple of those towards the trail right there at the exit.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Anyone else? There are a couple of questions, Carol, on chat. Will the study include ped crossings?
I guess, Ruta, maybe you can talk a little bit about more about what may happen or what you could design at intersections themselves, like say maybe bike boxes. But this study is actually solely just a bike study, how to best implement the bike study. So we're not looking at additional like ped crossings along both corridors.
I think Devyani did paste the link to the map input platform. So I'm hoping that everyone has that. If you want it one more time, Devyani, if you could do that, that would be great. Smooth bikeways. Anyone else would like to let us know issues, concerns, comments, suggestions?
And yes, if you don't have anything now, as Ruta said, we do have a dedicated email and phone number where you can leave a voicemail. So at any time, you can certainly leave us an email, leave us a voicemail, and then definitely please do go to our online survey. And as Ruta said, you can pinpoint problem areas that you would like the city and the consultants to pay attention to as we start the preliminary sketches for the design alternatives.
Let me see if I can pull. So our map input platform, once you click on it, looks something like this. And if you just click there, and zoom into, so say for example, you have a question or you have any issues or concerns at the intersection of Walsh and Northwestern Parkway, pin a location. And you can say, if you right this, oops. And then if you just say done, then that will be kind of listed as one of the comments. There are no specific numbers that you can put comments. You can put as many comments as you like. And then again, if there is a particular stretch that you want to comment on, then you can always draw a line. And then type your comment here. Example, and then just hit done, and that would be reported to us. And we kind of put together all these comments and make sure that we incorporate into the alternatives that we put together. So anyone else who would like to?
And Rita, we should remind people that this online survey will be open through June 30th. Is that correct?
That is correct. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, this online survey is open until June 30th. So please let your friends, your neighbors, your family members, co-workers know to go to this website and let us know what their concerns are or issues are, or if they have any comments, that would be great.
Okay, I
No.
think if we have no further questions, then I would once again like to thank you for your time tonight to be here at our first community meeting. And just to let you know, we will post this recorded meeting on the project webpage. So if you want to listen to it again, or maybe have one of your friends or coworkers that couldn't make it tonight, they can certainly watch it at their leisure, but they'll just have to access our webpage, and we'll make sure and post this recorded webinar. So thank you once again, everyone, and we appreciate your time. Have a great night.
Just a quick one on the next steps.
Mhm.
Everyone able to see my screen still? So as we speak, we are collecting a lot of data, and that would be rolled into the traffic analysis. So next time when we come and share alternatives with you, we would have some traffic analysis as well as some preliminary alternatives that we will be proposing. So that's something to look forward to. It would be sometime in summer. So please do visit our website, get yourself logged in so that you get regular updates. If you want to leave your email addresses with us, that would be great too, because we would definitely email you and let you know about upcoming events. So if that's easier, and if you can share with us your email addresses, please do that. And I think that's it for today.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Ruta, you want to stop the recording, or should I stop it?